Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Preezy from Listen Up, Listen In podcast. This is a podcast discussing different topics that will help us motivate, educate, differentiate, heal, laugh, grow, and improve ourselves throughout our daily lives. With my special co-host guest, trust me, you are going to laugh and have a good time. So whether you're in your car, relaxing at home, on the job, hanging out with your family and friends, get ready to tune in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. See you soon. Hey everybody, welcome to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. I am your host, Preezy. I'm so happy that you're here. Yes, we're going to have a great show today. But before I even get started, you know what I do. All praises to Jehovah God and Jesus Christ every day. Amen. And guess what? Give yourself a round of applause because you woke up this morning. Oh yeah. You woke up this morning. Hope you're feeling real good inside. Yes, it's Friday, y'all. I got your coats on, your Uggs, your whatever, your boots, your gloves, your hat, your scarf. Y'all ready? Keeping yourselves warm? I got a great guest today coming on the show. You're gonna love it. Yeah, so now, come on now, stay tuned. And I hope your day is going well. Don't let them see you sweat. Put a smile on your face. You know all the time they want to take your place, but do what you gotta do. Focus, man. And let's get ready for Listen Up, Listen In podcast. Oh yeah, let's get it.
Tanya, you ready?
Listen up, listen in. 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 Thanks for tuning in. Let's have a conversation. Talking worldwide, it don't matter your location. What you going through and the topic may have relation. Let's get some motivation. Let's swap out education. Every Friday we heal, laugh, improve, and grow. Put some nutrients in your mind, give you food for the soul. I know you pumped and preparing for your weekend and low. Might as well join the discussion and tune into the show. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. I'm your host, Preezy. Now before I start today's episode, I would love for you guys and gals to follow me on social media. Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplisten5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast. Now let's get back to Listen Up, Listen In. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Preezy from Listen Up, Listen In podcast. I got a special guest today. Let me tell you a little bit about this sister here. She is a passionate singer and writer who has been grabbing the attention of many on the local New York and New Jersey music creative scene with her distinct and soulful voice. Born in Wisconsin, raised in Jamaica, this young lady has been calling New York City home for 10 plus years. She graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology with honors and a B business degree in advertising and marketing. She has performed at the New York Institute of Technology, More Than Me fundraiser, the Delancey, Sidewalk Cafe, Rockwood Music Hall, Shrine, LPR, and at numerous open mics and numerous showcases throughout New York City. She released her EP, Warrior Woman, in 2019, which features the acclaimed title track, Warrior Women. Without further ado, let's give a round of applause for Miss Rachel Burrell. What's going on, Rachel? How are you?
Let me do the snaps now.
Give those snaps. How you doing, sis?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
Good. And before we even get started, I always like to ask my guests, how was your day?
You know, my day's been good. I exercised today, which for me is a good day because if you know me, you know I have like a love-hate relationship with exercise, but at the same time I want to be fit. So so I did that today. So that was nice. But it's been a good day. I'm here in New Jersey. It's a bit chilly,
Yes.
but that's what we expect this time of year here on the East Coast, right?
Oh yeah, baby, it's cold outside. Time to pull out the mugs.
Okay.
So, tell my audience, who is Rachel Burrell?
That is a good question.
Yes.
Rachel Burrell is someone who is ever evolving. So that's a good question. But at the core, I'm it's funny. I was talking about the word creative with my mom the other day. She's like, creative isn't really but yeah, I would say I'm someone who falls under the umbrella of just creative because I'm drawn to various aspects of creation and creating. So, I write, I speak, I was hosting, a showcase in New York and New Jersey called Mixed Pleasures prior to the pandemic, and that's on hold for now. But at the core, I'm an artist and just someone who likes to connect with people through the arts and all art forms. I'm an aunt, a sister. I have two older brothers. But aside from that, that I think that sums it up short and sweet.
Sounds good. That's wonderful. Now, you say that you're a writer,
Mm-hmm.
and you also sing. So let's start with the writing. How did you get started with that?
Yeah, the writing started as something that I would say it started as therapy, it was just a way for me to let things out because, I don't really come from the sort of family that sits around and has heart-to-hearts. And so the writing just gave me an outlet and a way to express things that I was feeling. And from there, and it really wasn't something that I was necessarily having any intention of pursuing in a professional manner, because I started writing, very young, early teens, but as I said, just as an outlet, because, those heart-to-hearts, and everyone is busy, on the go. So there really was no time to sort of sit around, like, for the most part, how's your day, get into these elaborate conversations. So yeah, I got into it as therapy and having an outlet.
That's great. When you're writing, is it hard to try to get thoughts together, or you're just writing whatever comes to your mind, you're just putting it down on paper? Because I know writing could be very time consuming, first of all, and you really gotta focus.
Yes.
So how did you make that work with such a busy day?
So it definitely requires focus, especially now that I'm doing it in a professional way, where I need to make sure everything's spelled correctly, that grammatically it makes sense, that it's flowing, that it's cohesive, all of that. But so when I'm thinking about this is work that I'm putting out to an audience, it's very different versus writing for myself. There's certain things that I will only share with myself, and that is more so just my thoughts as they come into my head. If I'm given a specific project or topic to write about, then that requires a lot more thought and carving out time to really sit down in a quiet space so that I can think. So it really depends. It depends. If I'm given a specific topic to write about, then that requires a lot more time. And versus the books that I've written, that was, had an idea of where I wanted to go with it from the beginning. So I would say the words flowed a lot more effortlessly.
How many books have you written?
2. Well, one's a short story and one's a full nonfiction that I released in May called Journey to Purpose.
Journey to Purpose. And you said it was another one too? You did too?
Yeah, the short story is called Memories That Linger.
Okay. So Journey to Purpose, I went on YouTube and I saw that you did a small clip of it. And a quote from your book, Journey to Purpose, you said, "Too many of us get caught up with going down the path that society says that we are to go down, even if it comes at the expense of our total well-being. That is truly unfortunate. Why should other people control our path to true happiness?" I was like, ooh. Ooh. Now, I know what you were saying, because that hit me in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Explain it to my audience, because y'all need to go get this book. That was deep.
Yeah. And I feel like we all get caught up in that at different points and in different levels, you know what I'm saying? And maybe there's not a way to completely avoid living within these societal expectations completely, you know, but yeah, it's something that actually really bothers me, you know, this idea that I think now I saw something that said there are 8 billion or however many people in the world. And to think that all of us need to follow this same path, right? Because the path is pretty much the same across all cultures for the most part, if you think about it.
Right.
It's go to school, go to college, get married, have kids, work, retire, die.
Yeah.
And there's very little talk about the individualism. Well, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that lights your soul on fire? Because what I find is that a lot of times, I've known for a while now that I feel like kids aren't for me. It's just something that I'm not willing to commit to because it's a big responsibility and it's not something that I see myself wanting. And I always sort of get this pushback. Well, you know, you're young. It's never like I'm going to take your word for it. Yes, I'm obligated to change my mind, but it's always this like, oh, you'll change your mind, or oh, you'll do this, or oh, you'll do that. Even if the words are coming from my mouth or saying otherwise, because of the expectation. It is because of the expectation that like this is what you're supposed to do,
Right.
Or this is why. You know, I really don't look down on anyone that hasn't gone to college or that hasn't. I don't think I'm any smarter. For a while, I didn't want to go to college. I took 2 years off in between completing my degree. You know, so because I was just like but you know, my mom's an educator, and so perhaps that's an expectation that I lived up to. That like, okay, my mom's an educator. I gotta go to college and get this done. You know what I'm saying? Not a good look. So I think to some, and I'm happy that I did. So, you know, but I'm just saying that I think we have to get to a point where we allow people to figure out for themselves what is their path and what makes them happy, and stop trying to force this overall umbrella that everyone needs to fall into, or there's got to be something wrong if you're not doing it the way society is supposed to do it. There's got to be something wrong. Why wouldn't you do this? A, B, C, D, E, F. You know, maybe I want to skip C, D and go to E, F. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
That was my train of thought there. I think that we need to say, even when it's hard, that I'm doing this because it's what makes me happy and it's what feels right for my soul. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I think a lot of, even the things that's going on in the world today with young kids, they're on social media, and you gotta look this way, you gotta look that way, and even women with the big butts and the breasts and going here and getting this done. Oh, because she got a big butt, so it's just too much. It's like Are you thinking for yourself, or you allowing others to think for you? You know what I mean? So we really got to do what's best for us.
You have to
not worrying.
And I'm not saying it's so easy. It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. Yes, it is.
Saying?
It is.
It is.
It is.
So I will acknowledge that. It's a lot of pressure.
Right.
When all of these voices in every direction saying this, and you're saying that. So it really takes a certain knowing of self. It takes a knowing of self, because I think that it's a lot easier to get swayed when there's not a knowing of self.
Right.
So yeah.
How about loving who you are?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, definitely. So tell me a little bit about Wisconsin. It was born in Wisconsin. That's
funny, because a lot of people, when I tell them I was born in Wisconsin, they're like, how? And they're like, how? Like, what are you saying? And actually, I know nothing of Wisconsin. I moved from there when I was 2 years old. My mom was in graduate school when she was pregnant with me. And, when she finished school, we moved to Jamaica. Both of my parents are Jamaican, and we moved to Jamaica, and I lived there until I was 12 years old. And then I've been here. I'm in New Jersey now, but and I came back. I went to junior high school, college in New York. So I've only been to Wisconsin once since then. In my, I think I might have finished high school at the time, and we stayed maybe about a week and a half, and I liked it. I always think about how different I would have been had I grown up there versus, but that's never know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was it going to Fashion Institute of Technology? How was that?
I really, as I was mentioning, I really struggled for a while as to whether I wanted to go to college or not. And so after high school, I took a year off, and I really wasn't sure the path that maybe I think some people have their majors and what they want to do figured out while they're applying to whatever schools they're applying to, and I just wasn't sure. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and actually FIT wasn't even on my radar. I was talking to a friend, and he's like, you're really creative, and you've always been good at writing. You've always been good at writing, and I think you should look into the advertising and marketing communications program at FIT. And I was like, all right, why not? It doesn't hurt. I do enjoy writing. And I looked into it. I looked into the program. It's a smaller program. Obviously, they're known more so for fashion. And I wrote an essay, did the whole submission, got in, and it was a great experience. It helped me to hone in on my writing in more of a professional way, so that I now know more about what words to use to evoke various emotions, or to really paint the picture, to really tell a story. And then on the one hand, it almost felt like I wasn't in college because it's right in the heart of Manhattan. I didn't have that going away to dorm experience. Wow. But, it was good times. It really was good times. I do not look back on that experience with any complaints.
That's awesome. So tell me, what is this More Than Me fundraiser? What is that about?
Oh man, see, I did that some years ago. That was a foundation that was about helping kids overseas, specifically in Africa, and just providing an outlet for them through the arts. And the founder of it, Katie, I'm not recalling her last name because literally I did this fundraiser some time ago. I'd met her at an open mic, and at the time she didn't have the foundation. She was just launching the foundation, and so she had a fundraiser to raise funds to head over overseas, and so I performed at that.
Okay, I see a few other things you have, like the Delancey Sidewalk Cafe, Lockwood Music Hall. Tell me a little bit more about that. The Shrine LPR and open mics that you did in New York City. So tell me a little bit about those things.
Yeah, I called the Delancey my second home. I was Like ever there was a venue, if ever I was like had the urge to hit a stage, I just had such a great relationship with them. I'd be like, hey, what dates do you have? I'm looking to put a show together. And so that's actually the venue that I've performed at the most. Shrine was a release party that we did out in Harlem. And for anyone who's familiar with it, it's obviously an awesome space. And then Sidewalk was on Avenue A in Manhattan. I actually am not even sure if they're still open.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the Delancey is the one that I've had numerous. I mean, I can't count. Whereas the other venues, I can count how many times I'm there.
So when you're doing your open mics, what you talking about?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we haven't, the open mics have been on hold since the pandemic, but we've been doing an open mic and showcase called Mixed Pleasures. And the reason it's called Mixed Pleasures is because we really feature mixed forms of art. So we had visual artists, singers, actor, whatever, musicians, whatever form, dancers, so it really was just, I always talk about like what the arts did for me. It's the arts sort of pulled me out of this depression that I had, especially towards the latter part of my high school, my time in high school. I just, like I said, everyone was sort of on the go. I didn't really have that outlet. I was writing, but then I also got involved in the musical theater program in my junior year of high school, and that turned out to be very powerful for me in terms of having a safe space, and this community. And so Mixed Pleasures is a community, and that's why we have these various art forms and artists that come together. Most artists, especially in urban communities, if you talk with us, there's a lot of underlying things. Everyone have had things that they've had to go through and overcome, but man, you really have a heart to heart with some artists and you really listen to their work. And it's like, wow. And I feel like in those smaller settings, like an open mic, that's where people are most raw and vulnerable. And so you're really able to connect with the art and the artist. And it's not just this noise, it's like really someone pouring their heart out, and you're able to build this community. And there's nothing more powerful than a community. And so, and art is, I think, the most powerful way to bring communities together. So it was very important for us to do that. And we started doing that in New York. And once I moved to New Jersey, I connected with some of the artists here. So we had started doing some of them in Newark. And, we stopped since I was doing it with a DJ named DJ Lovely out in Philly. And so, since the pandemic, we really haven't picked that up, but we were doing it for several years. And, it's powerful when some of the artists would commute from New York into Newark and New Jersey when we moved it out here because of that fellowship, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just a believer in art until the very end.
That's what's up. Do you think that you guys are gonna get it back started now that the COVID is kind of calmed down? We're still not out the clear. COVID is still out there, but do you think you'll get back into it? Things that smooth down a little bit.
We may. We were doing it monthly. I don't know that we might come back in a quarterly capacity or where it's not. We're also on two different schedules. DJ Lovely also now travels for work, whereas her home base is still Philly, but it was always Philly and no commuting to other states. So, our schedules have shifted a bit. There are other factors. But yeah, I'm sure we always sort of find our way back to doing it because we love that fellowship with the artists too. So we'll see. There's no definite, I can't give a definite answer on that.
Yeah. I noticed that you mentioned you was a little depressed. Is it because you had a lot on your plate or just...
Yeah. That was early into my teenhoods,
Wow.
Like, so that was the latter part of my teenhood. So junior year of high school, leading into entering into college.
Wow.
I really didn't have, like I said, that outlet. You know, I had all of these things that were happening on the home front, but really no real way to release them. Because as I said, you know, we're just not the kumbaya type of family where everyone's like, so tell me your feelings, tell me what you're thinking, let's hug it out. That's just not, you know what I'm saying? And so everyone needs an outlet. Everyone needs a way to just not have these emotions bottled up inside of them. And so, like I said, that's initially how I started writing. But, you know, being around people is important too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like why other people are around. So I was, my core group of friends, you know, I would hang out with some of them after school. We'd go to each other's house, whatever, but there was still something missing. And the arts gave me that, you know, I would, from school, I would go to rehearsal. We rehearsed, you know, every day leading up to production. So it was just that energy. I mean, that's why I said I'm an advocate for the arts until the end, because it just has this powerful ability to lift you up. You know, the arts, depending on how someone's using it, can help you to sink or swim. That's why I'm somewhat of I'm not a complete critic of what's out in the mainstream now, but I'm somewhat of a critic. You know, I think people have gotten a little lazy and convenient. You know, it's easy to just throw out some simple lyrics to a catchy beat and with some lyrics that really don't do anything for the soul.
Right, that's true.
Because it's popular. And listen, my stance has always been we need more of a balance. Because I like to dance and have fun and listen to some stuff too, but I just think there's a lack of balance. You know, we also need to, whether we think people are affected by the words to our music or what's out there or not, they are. And as someone who the arts helped to, like I said, get out of that place in my head and where I was just like, man, I know just how powerful it is. So, you know.
Yeah. I see you released your EP Warrior Woman in 2019. Tell me about that.
Yeah, you know, that was I was in I was like, you know what? Sometimes when you step back and you look at all the things that you've overcome, you're like, you got to shout yourself out and pat yourself on the back sometimes and be like, I'm doing amazing.
Snaps on that. That's right. Yes. Yes, you do. You know
what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's how I felt. I was like, I really am a warrior woman. I really did this. I'm really doing this. Because realistically, it would have been easier to have given up completely. Realistically.
Right.
Like, what am I even trying for? Because, I mean, you do get knocked down a lot of times. And if you keep getting knocked down, you're like, well, I might as well just stay there.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So if you can will yourself to get up, if you can get to that point where you're like, man, you know what? I really think there's more. I think there's more. And I think that I can beat this, whatever it is. And I think that I can overcome this, whatever it is. Then that's a powerful thing. And I talk about mindset a lot. Because it starts in your mind and getting to this place where, so Warrior Woman is really about that mindset. It's really about that mindset. And a lot of people just really connected with that track, including men. They were like, yo, that is. So I was like, yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's good. But you have a lot of other things. You on what, Spotify, you on SoundCloud, YouTube. I did my homework now. I checked you out, Rachel. I checked you out. And I see you did a lot of songs and stuff like that. I was like, all right, that's nice. So you're doing your thing.
I appreciate that.
And I listen to, you talking, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. You know, this is really good. I definitely gotta have her back on my show. What's the quote for today, Miss Rachel? Can you just tell the world what's the quote for today? Because everybody, we need some uplifting. I'm telling you, I get tired of turning TV on and hearing all this negative stuff, and this person did this, and I mean, it's the world. But sometimes you gotta sit down, and it's like a meditation. You want to hear things that's positive, that's going to uplift you, you know what I mean? And make you feel like, okay, don't worry about yesterday. Let's make tomorrow better.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
definitely got to do that. Yes. And so, you're a storyteller, too. You said you got a short story. Can you tell us a little bit about that short story?
Yeah, the title of that's Memories That Linger, and it really is a short story. That bad boy is short, but that came to me at the height of lockdown. So I actually wrote that when we were in lockdown, and that's really centered around a family. You know, the main character, her name is Aisha. And she's documenting her healing process. So she gives a backstory of some of the things that she'd been through throughout her childhood, how they affected her now as an adult and her relationships with other people, both personal and professional. And it documents her steps to healing, to saying, like, you know what I'm saying, yes, things weren't great, but now as an adult, I'm seeing how they're affecting me, and if I don't do something about it, it's going to continue. So I actually pulled from a lot of my personal experiences in that short story. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I know you was raised in Jamaica, so do you miss the food? Because, you know, I know we have a lot of restaurants out here. And what's the number one Jamaican dish?
Man, I do miss the food. I talk about the food all the time. So these staple Jamaican dishes, a thing called ackee and saltfish. It's like codfish. Here they call it codfish or bacalao, depending on what you've heard of. With the dumplings and the yam. That's like the national dish of Jamaica. But I mean, gosh, I think what I miss about there, and I haven't been back. I haven't been there in a long time. My brother goes back like every year. But I think what I miss is the convenience of having this land space and pretty much mango trees and guava and everything right in the backyard. We would literally just go to the backyard and feel which guavas were ripe or mangoes and eat right there. So I think that's what I miss the most. You know, I'm sort of a food conscious person now more than anything, and I'm always having a second guess. You can't even, because even when it says organic and you watch like Nightline or something and they'll say, oh, we found out that these farmers were lying. Man, come on.
For real, man. It's like, oh my God.
Like, come on. You know, so yeah, I think that's what I miss, not having a second guess if my food is actually food.
Yes.
Oh, and the open air, but yeah.
Any restaurants close to making it right?
I don't know. You know, I think the best Jamaican food is probably in Brooklyn, to be honest. And it's probably not even restaurants. It's just maybe some little off-beaten store where it's like a family, you know what I'm saying? But over here in Jersey, I really haven't explored. But I mean, if I like really crave something that's going to give me that Jamaican flavor, I'll just cook it. Because one thing about Jamaicans, and probably every Caribbean kid, is we learn how to cook from early. I was throwing down full meals at like 10.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You do. Yeah.
So what's in the future for Rachel Burrell? What's next? I mean, you know, you got all this degrees and all this. I mean, you know, did the open mics and everything, and you're writing books, and you're singing, you're on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. What else? What else is Miss Rachel going to do?
That is, I'm so open. Like, I have this openness now where I've been having a lot of moments of stillness. I've never spent this much time in my own company ever. So there's a lot of introspectiveness. But if I could think about where I would like to go off right now, I would like to just hit some stages with public speaking, you know. I feel very comfortable getting up in front of people on stage, and I've been into several schools, you know, teaching workshops and songwriting workshops and just workshops with high school age, junior high school age kids, and it's all been in New York, and I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, I would love to do more of that, and everything else I'm fairly open.
Awesome, that's great. So what's your email? Where can we, if you know, we want to find you, your email, your website, where you at?
Yes, you can email me at rthestoryteller@gmail. rthestoryteller@gmail.
Okay, cool. What's your website?
Pulse, PULSEFOR, purpose, pulseforpurpose.com.
And you're on Instagram, right?
I am the storyteller.
Yes. And I noticed that you're on Amazon Link.
Yeah, I'll shoot that over to you.
All right, cool. And you're also, I checked it out, you're on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So check out Miss Rachel Burrell. You're gonna love it, especially, I gotta say this again, I gotta repeat it. Too many of us get caught up with going down the path that society says that we are to go down, even if it comes at the expense of our total well-being. That is truly unfortunate. Why should other people control our paths to true happiness? Pay attention, y'all. Gotta say that to yourself. Why? Why should other people control our path to true happiness? Y'all connect to Rachel Burrell, and she gonna tell you why it shouldn't happen.
Let's connect. I really genuinely do love to connect with good people. So yes.
Definitely. I want to thank you for being on my show. I appreciate it. I would love for you to come back.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And just please, one more time, tell us your email and website.
Yes. rthestoryteller, all one word, @gmail. pulseforpurpose.com. And I love to just say, as long as we have a pulse, we have a purpose and a reason for being here. So don't ever think that you're here by accident.
There you go, folks. That's what's up. I gotta get a hand clap and snap.
And snap. You gotta have the snap.
Heck yeah, gotta have. That's that open mic stuff. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you being on my show. And like I tell everybody, live, laugh, love you first, because you can't love anything or anyone if you don't love yourself first. Stay healthy, stay focused, keep God first in your life, and hug your family just a little bit tighter. And I want to thank my special guest, Miss Rachel Burrell, once again for being on my show. Y'all check her out. Love you, mommy and daddy, forever.
Love you.
Peace.
Nothing but love.
That concludes this episode of Listen Up, Listen In with your host, Preezy. Hey, yo, Preezy, tell them how to keep in touch, baby.
Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplistenin 5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast.
Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Yeah.